I'd like to call the November the 28th, 2011 regular meeting of the Frankfort Board of Commissioners to order. And in the absence of the Reverend who's going to have our invocation, I'd like for all of us to stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Wilder?
Here.
Commissioner Hedden? Here. Commissioner Turner? Commissioner May?
Here.
Mayor Brown?
Here. So we have 4 of the 5 present. We can continue with our order of business. You have before you, and have had it for a while, the minutes for the October 15, 2011 special meeting, October the 17th, 2011 work session, October 24th, 2011 regular meeting, November the 14th, 2011 work session. Now, we ready to entertain any motion pertaining to minutes?
Mayor, I'd
Mr.
move
May.
that the reading be dispensed with and the minutes be approved as submitted.
Well, I got a motion, got a second from Commissioner Hedden. Any discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
Commissioner Wilder?
Yes.
Commissioner Hedden? Yes. Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Brown?
Yes, so the minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda are ceremonial items. Turn it over to our city manager, Mr. Gorn.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to call forward Jim Parrish, please, our Parks and Recreation Co-Director.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager. Thank you for allowing us to be on the ceremonial items tonight. We would like to recognize a few awards that the Parks Department won. We just recently went to the Kentucky Parks and Recreation Society annual meeting in Bowling Green, in which they give out a variety of awards. And the first one that was won by Frankfort, I'd like Nikki Hughes to come forward, please. I think you are all aware, and you all were the main sponsor of the Cornets and Cannons Festival that we had over the Labor Day weekend. And it is up for a national award also that we'll find out later on. But Cornets and Cannons won the state award for best program in the state of Kentucky with city parks, county parks, state parks, over 175 nominees, and it won the award.
That's great.
We were real pleased with how this turned out. We not only achieved the artistic and historical objectives we had, but we were real happy to see that it put a lot of people from out of town and out of state on the streets of Frankfort spending money, and we thought that was a pretty good outcome. We got support and help directly and indirectly on this from all over city government, and I just want to thank everybody concerned for everybody's input into it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The second award that was given at the Society Convention was a tribute to our department, the Frankfort Parks and Recreation Department. It's a tribute to all of our employees, full-time, seasonal, part-time, that work throughout the year in different events, athletics, whatever. Frankfort Parks and Recreation Department was given the Presidential Citation Award for the outstanding contribution to the leisure profession in the state of Kentucky, 2011.
Great.
Mr. Jim and Jim. You know, beyond our borders, people know about our parks, recreation, museum, and historical sites. I continually hear accolades about what y'all do, and you know, personally, and others can address it likewise. I just am so grateful to be a part of a city for you're doing such outstanding work. And I'm proud to be the mayor of the city before you do that. Thank you. Any other comments from anybody want to make? Commissioner May.
Mayor, just again echo what you just said, and congratulations for some tremendous awards. To get to get nominated for a national award is something else, and that's not only did it share music with people who'd never heard that style of music, it is something that hopefully will be an ongoing thing that will promote tourism as well. But from the music aspect, it was one of the best music events that I've seen. So thank you all to everyone who worked on that.
Well, we want to thank all the other city departments back there that work with us on everything, especially streets and roads. They really help us a lot, but all city departments have been very helpful with us. One final ceremonial item, I'd like to ask our city arborist, Mr. Andrew Kamak, to come up for a minute. Andrew is resigning the end of the month, which is Wednesday. We're certainly going to miss him. This is a bittersweet moment. Andrew and I had a chat this morning, and we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to say just a few words about his accomplishments, and then Jim's going to say a little bit about Andrew, and we'll keep it very brief. I asked Andrew this morning to go home and just put a little list of his accomplishments together, and so we could just read them briefly, and he called me about 3:30 and said he was finished. I said, what are you doing, writing a novel? He said, no. He said, being the humble guy he is, if you just give me a minute to share this with you. There. You got to know Andrew, he likes a good joke. But no, on an honest note, this is going to take me about 1 minute to read, but I want you to really take note of these accomplishments. Andrew Kamak worked for the city for 12 years after retiring for state government. With the help and support of the city, Andrew has designed and implemented the city's first urban forestry program, managed and developed Cove Spring Park Nature Preserve from the time of its purchase. Andrew has been responsible for the city's receiving over $2 million in grants from different agencies. In the Urban Forestry Division, he's overseen and planted over 2,000 large trees on city streets and parks, inventoried all the city street trees, 2,800 plus, developed a city nursery and a utility arboretum. He compiled an urban forestry management plan and established a replacement tree program for trees removed by the city, initiated the Reforest Frankfort program. In 3 years, 17 volunteers have planted 7,000 seedlings. Annual Arbor Day and Tree City Award for 13 years. He's initiated the first statewide tree board seminar, which is 5 years going. At Cove Spring, he's obtained grants for purchase of the park reserve land, developed over 5 miles of trails, volunteers, inmates, and grants to build shelters, walkways, and the infrastructure. A $1.2 million stream wetland restoration project, which we will be giving a contract for next month at the next work meeting. Restoration work on the tower, stone walls, log cabin, and invasive plant removal and native plantings. There's been 10 Eagle Scout projects at Cove Spring. Also, Cove Spring won the Mid-America Trails Award in 2009, which is an 8-state regional award. Cove Spring won the statewide Heritage Land Conservation Stewardship Award for the best stewardship of a heritage land project. And Andrew received the Support Award from the Kentucky Recreation and Park Society in 2003. So that took about 1 minute, 10 seconds to read, but that's quite some accomplishments. And I'm going to let Jim say a few words about Andrew.
I'm not going to say a whole lot because I know everybody's going on, but Andrew, I was hoping you would retire in November 2016. That's probably when I'm going to retire. I was kind of hoping we'd all go out together at the same time, but if anybody knows Andrew, if he's not the hardest working employee in city government, I've never met anybody else. The man works all the time. I've seen him come in, work Monday through Friday, come in, load the water truck up, go out, water till 9:30 that night, come in Saturday, load the water truck up, water all day Saturday and all day Sunday. So I've seen firsthand his dedication to this department and the trees. He really is a great employee, he works hard. We're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. You've been a great colleague, and I think me and Jim can say you've been a pretty good friend over the years. And we've had a few disagreements, Andrew probably would have been good on the debate team, because if you ever got in an argument with him, you didn't win. He's got his way with words. But, you know, you've really set a good example for this department over the years, and we're gonna miss you, but there are gonna be about 27,000 people in Franklin who are gonna miss you a lot more than me and Jim, because the things you've done for the city have not gone unnoticed. So, and I promise you one thing, it's a little inside joke. We won't plant any Colorado blue spruce trees at Cold Spring Park. And if you want to know what that little comment is, you can ask him sometime. But let's give a big round of applause for Andrew and everything.
Andrew, come here a second, buddy. Now, I worked on the program, but I served with this guy when I was in the General Assembly, when I was on the Agriculture Committee, Small Business, and Andrew was a step person. Outstanding quality guy. And when I learned, after he retired from up there, that he'd come to the city of Franklin, I knew the city of Franklin was getting a jewel. And when I was able to become mayor, I benefited, as I mentioned a while ago, the commission here, we just a board. It's people like you and other department heads who make our city what it is. And Andrew, I'm so proud to be able to chance to work with you again.
It's been my
Wish you
pleasure.
well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
You want to say anything?
I can say. Well, listen, that was all highly exaggerated, and but I appreciate it. It makes me feel extremely humble. It's been a labor of love working for the city. Doing, you know, after I retired the first time, I decided to do something that I really, really believed in, and planting trees and nature preserves and parks were what I really and truly believe in, and it's like I've loved every minute of it, and you know, I hope I can continue in the future to contribute in some way to the parks and to the city. I want to say how much I appreciate my bosses and the leadership that I've received. None of this could have happened without the support of these two gentlemen and mayors and city managers over the last few years to establish an urban forestry program to get Cove Spring going. And I've got to give these guys a huge amount of credit, and their guidance has just been tremendous. I also want to thank my crew at Cove Spring, who have just done an incredible job. They're talented. And I guess I'll put in a little plug here for part-time employees. Part-time employees are a major portion of what keeps Parks and Recreation going. We've got a bunch of them, part-time in summer. And these guys, or girls, can be retired from state government or been in the Army for 25 years, and they're talented. They've supervisory, they got all kinds of skills. And these guys do difficult jobs, and they do jobs that are somewhat dangerous. And they don't get paid a lot for it. So I think it's really important that we show our appreciation to those people, and they've just been great to work with, all my guys and girls at Cove Spring. So thanks for the good times, and like I say, I hope I can come back and help the city in some way, and I'm really honored and humbled and flattered by what everybody had to say. So thanks very much.
Mr. May.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say something, just a brief comment about Andrew. Having watched Andrew work from the ground up and see the program take off is just something that makes, I think, those of us that know, makes us all very proud. Andrew was the first appointee that I made to the tree board in he reminded me it was 1996, and I had not realized it was that long ago, but Andrew came in and took off with that program, Mayor and Commission members, and made that thing into simply, I think, the best in Kentucky. And it was recognized numerous times for being the best in Kentucky. And you see it's still getting awards today. So we'll see the benefits of that for many years. I've told people many times, one day we're all going to be driving down the streets and all these pretty trees are going to be blooming. Everybody's going to say, where did those come from? And it's all the volunteers that have come through the program, and Andrew oversaw that with the help of all the other folks in in Parks and Rec, but one day you're going to see these small trees, they're going to come out of nowhere.
One thing I'd like to add, I forgot, this is one thing I forgot, is
Would you please come here so everybody can
just
see
the
you?
assistance that
Okay.
we've received from other agencies in city government. And, city government's a great place, and it's a lot more, metal to the road, than state government. And the public works people, the planning people, I've had tremendous, we get tremendous support from these other folks.
Commissioner Hidden.
Mr. Kamak, I would just like to personally thank you for all your hard work that you've done. You've truly made Frankfurt a better place to call home. So thank you. Enjoy your retirement again.
Thanks, Andrew.
I think this concludes ceremonial items, Mayor.
All right. The next item on the agenda for citizen comments. So the policy we have, any citizen can come and address the commission. We like to ask you to keep comments to within around 5-minute period of time and come take before the microphone here and give us your name if we have any citizen who would like to address the commission. Is there any citizen who would like to address? Okay, back there.
Commissioner, my name is Louis McLean, 111 Oak Palm Drive here in Frankfurt. A couple items, and I apologize for going back, but it's one of those things where that I kept asking and kept waiting for responses, and subsequently none of it really came. So basically, the comments that I have and questions that I have, or I'll go back and I'll reference our local printed media dated Wednesday, September the 28th. And the issue that I have is that we had a local business owner that was an appointee to a board. And I'll just quote the paper here. Apparently there was an issue in which a statement was made, which this particular point, it was, I guess there was some concern about an opinion or a view of this particular appointee, and it was deemed as being pretty much a cut and dry violation of our code of ethics. And it was a cut and dry violation of our conflict of interest. As I can imagine, this was quoted obviously with Commissioner Wilder. So my question is that, what did you base the determination on? What kind of finding of fact did you base that determination on that it was a cut and dry violation?
I don't know if you want us to have a conversation, or if you want to get your comments out and we can answer all your questions at once.
Well, let me just go with let me go with the question first, and if you want to respond to it, that's where we're at. The comment was made, and I'm assuming that this comment was made because they quoted as Commissioner Wilder, so you made it as an official comment. So
Yes, sir.
What did you base that particular finding? What
It's
findings about?
Let me see, in there, the way we want to handle this, we can, you can make a 5-minute presentation,
Okay.
and the question, if he can respond, or if the commissioner would like to respond as you address them, then we can have a dialogue. So how do you want to do that?
I mean, the finding of fact, no one's opinions and views were at issue. It was the fact that the gentleman in question introduced a motion to exempt his own properties from the rules that this task force was tasked with facilitating. So it was a motion and a vote that were on the record, that were taken on the record to exempt himself.
Okay, but it's my understanding though, that's been reported in other print that individuals, his view and opinion was known before the appointment.
Well, and as I said, I don't think anybody has taken issue with his view or opinion.
let me express my other concern. One, and I guess I'll go back to, what finding of fact did you use to base that it was a cut and dried violation of the code of ethics?
I don't have the code of ethics in front of us, but to paraphrase, and I'm sure you're familiar with the code serving on the ethics board, but no city officer shall take any action, or no city even official shall take any action to create an exception for themselves.
Okay. That being said, though, did you not allow that particular appointee his due process? Because I'm looking at it from the standpoint that if it was flagrant and basically a cut and dry issue, why wasn't you given the due process of going through and a complaint being filed and given due process for those findings of fact to be brought into
I can only answer that question personally. I mean, I debated whether or not to file ethics charges and just felt that it was unnecessary, considering that he expressed, he acknowledged that what he did may have been inappropriate and expressed contrition to me personally, and even volunteered to remove himself from the city boards that he sits on. But the task force in question is a task force that's dealing with a process that's funded by a grant that has very specific deadlines that need to be met. And as we all know, I mean, ethics hearings last months and months and months and months. And for the task force to move forward with this business, we just felt it was necessary to take action in a timely manner. And of course, serving at will on a task force. I mean, there is no due process for removing somebody at will.
And can I make a comment, please?
Pardon me?
May I make a comment? Is it okay?
Yes.
That I too was contacted by 3 other people on that task force in regard to feeling threatened by this certain gentleman with this task force, and that the task force is set up on a time frame. And when people on the task force are calling, the only thing to do is to take action.
Okay.
I mean, cut and dried, Lewis. I mean, I can tell you what. This is a direct quote from the individual in question. When he said that he wanted to remove his own property from the boundary area, that he wanted to create an exemption for himself, a task force member even raised a concern that he may have a conflict of interest. And his response, and this is a quote that he even gave to me directly, is that if his property weren't exempted, then he would have no choice but to ask questions that would disrupt the process and prevent it from being the best code it could be. He very overtly threatened to disrupt the work of the task force if he didn't get his way. And many task force members felt bullied enough by that threat to actually cede to his demands. But I don't think it's hard to see how counterproductive that is to the work of the task force.
Okay. Again, that being said, and I won't speak for the appointee. My concern was about the process. But the other concern that I have, and I'll refer back to the same article, and quite simply, and this is from other small business owners as well. It just so happens that this particular is not only a local, but a state, national, and international business base for this particular instrument. Will you refer to other local business owners as the cloud and nip them in the bud when their viewer opinion is imagined to be as cut and dry violation of our conflicts of interest? And it's whose conflict, and my concern is that isn't that what all this is about, is differences of opinion?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, it was about unethical actions that were taken. I wouldn't begrudge anybody their views or opinions, and we were all made very aware of this individual's views and opinions before he was appointed to the task force. He very clearly made his views and opinions known to us before he was appointed. So the idea that this was a reaction to his views or opinions doesn't hold any water. Because if we objected to his views or opinions or wanted to silence his views or opinions, we probably wouldn't have appointed him in the first place. This has nothing to do with anybody's views or opinions. This has to do with unethical actions taken as a city official. And I don't care what kind of business somebody does in the city. I don't care what position they hold. If somebody misuses their position as a public official, that's cut and dry. It has nothing to do with views and opinions. It has to do with unethical actions.
Okay? Again, so that being said, time up, okay? That being said, knowing the circumstances of this particular issue, and knowing your own set of circumstances, how do we continue to resolve those?
Well, to clarify and to give the rest of the commission some background, the mayor appointed Louis McLean here to the ethics board last year, and ever since then he's been digging through every inch of my private life, looking for anything he can use to hurt me personally and politically. And Louis and I have talked about the file he's put together on me, and it's full of fabrications and distortions. That's not the point. Louis has made it pretty clear why he's doing this. Louis has made it clear that he's doing this on behalf of folks like Kathy Carter and Rob Moore and other city officials who I've called out over the past couple of years for using their positions and or misleading the public. Excuse me.
Commissioner, please address him. You're
Sure.
bringing other people's names here.
Okay, well, that's not just,
appropriate.
I
That's not
agree,
appropriate.
I agree this isn't appropriate, but the point is
That's
that.
not appropriate.
But the point is
Do
that-
not bring other people's
Okay,
names.
well, I won't name anybody else, but my point is that Mr. McLean has made it clear that he's doing this on behalf of other public officials who I've held accountable for abusing their positions and misleading the public. I get the message, okay, and I want you and all your buddies to understand, Louis, I hear you loud and clear. If I don't sit down and shut up and stop holding folks accountable for abusing their positions and or misleading the public, then I can expect to be targeted heavily, not just politically,
Are you saying
but
that-
personally.
that we
That's
had that
exactly what I'm
exchange?
saying, and I don't expect you to acknowledge this, Louis. In fact, I expect you to deny it and to take offense and to, call me a liar and all that fun stuff. But I just want you and your buddies to know that I hear you loud and clear, and I want you to hear me loud and clear, okay? I don't care about my political career, and I don't care about your personal opinion of me. Okay, the only thing I care about here is doing what's right by the city,
I hope so.
period.
Yes.
And personal threats and political blackmail will never, ever prevent me from speaking the truth or from holding other public officials accountable when they fail to live up to that very basic standard. So I don't even know what you're getting at, because you listed all, when we've talked about these charges you put together against me, you've come up with all kinds of crazy stuff, including, claiming that I've tried to hide income from the city, which is not true, and that's not true. You've claimed that I illegally broke into the St. Clair parking garage to film a scene in my movie. That's not true. So you ask, I don't even know which of these ridiculous charges you're asking me to respond to. And I don't care. I'll respond to anything you want about my personal life outside of this meeting. But this setting right here, unless you're accusing me of something improper as a public official, it's just not the right time to wage a political campaign. And I'd
Nobody
suggest
said
that we
anything
talk
about
outside of here.
It's arisen. Yes, sir.
You have any additional comments you want to make?
Just that there is, Mr. Wilder has basically said, and his thing was, as far as during campaign, he wanted citizens involved with their government and wanted them to pay attention. That's exactly what I'm doing.